All right. Good morning, everybody. We are back again with another red eye edition of the Beating the Odds with Beep Ringside Reporter podcast. And as everyone knows, we talked about this and we've been talking about this the whole situation about Dillian Whyte not taking part in the press conference and also talking about not taking part in the promotion. But what is Dillian Whyte really accomplishing here? Myself and Maestro Boxing, we've been talking about this behind the scenes extensively. And what I believe and what he believes is Dillian Whyte is just biting off his nose to spite the rest of his face. Because by not taking part in the promotion, what is he accomplishing? He's only actually making the fight better. By not promoting this fight, what you're doing is really promoting this fight because you're creating controversy, right? You're creating another storyline, right? Um, and also, people talk about tribalism in the sport of boxing, right? But when you really look at it, all the big fights in history were fueled by tribalism. When you have one side, right, going against the other side. And whenever you put yourself in a situation where there's a fighter who has just as many people watching who want him to lose than win, a la, which was such the case with Floyd Mayweather, and even Muhammad Ali early in his days. When he had the situation with walking away from the sport because of his stance on the draft. Right, you had some people who were vehemently against that stance, and some people who supported him. So you had the people who wanted Ali to lose because of that, and you also had the people who wanted him to win because of that. So now we're put in another situation where we have tribalism. We have the people who are supporting Dillian Whyte saying, well, you know what? I stand behind him. If he's not going to take part in the promotion because he's not going to get any upside, then I agree with that, and I would do the same thing. Then you have the people who are upset with that, who are saying that why would he not want to take part in the promotion because he's going to be part of arguably the biggest fight in UK history, right? You have a chance to be part of history, right? Your name is on this event. And I don't know about you, but speaking personally for myself, anytime I put my name on something or my name is attached to something, I want whatever it's attached to be the best and biggest it could possibly be. So I take pride in anything I'm affiliated with. And if I'm Dillian Whyte, I'm saying to myself, I'm not here to just promote this fight, help them out, or help Tyson Fury out. I'm here to promote my brand. I'm prepared to put on the best performance of my career in the biggest fight of my career. I want as many people to see me do that as possible. Why would I not want to put myself in that situation? Why would that not be important to me? But again, by not showing up, look at all the headlines Dillian Whyte has created. Look how many people are talking about it. So you just added a layer of controversy to this fight that it didn't have before, right? I as a fan, I do enjoy the press conferences. I do like the build up to big fights. But at the end of the day, as long as Dillian Whyte shows up on fight week, as long as the proper advertisements being done for this fight, to me, regardless of what happens, this fight is a can't miss. It's a home run. They sold out, or they sold 85,000 tickets in 3 hours at Wembley. It's going to be a sellout. In my opinion, it's going to well exceed 1 million pay-per-view buys in the UK. No matter what, it's going to be a very lucrative, successful event. Now, again, by Dillian Whyte not taking part in it, I don't think it hurts the event. I actually think it helps the event because, once again, people are going to be asking questions. Why isn't he here? Has Tyson Fury gotten his head? Or is he playing mind games with Tyson Fury? Did he get in Tyson Fury's head? Is he saying that I'm not going to feed into Tyson Fury's BS, so to speak, or his mind games, right? So now it leaves people wondering. And once again, you create that divide in the boxing community. And I'm sure there's a lot of UK fans, because UK fans, in my opinion, are the best boxing fans in the world. So this is going to fuel their interest in the fight. They're going to want to know what's going on. Why is Dillian Whyte doing what he's doing? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a problem with Dillian Whyte negotiating hard for himself. Now that the contracts are signed, that's fine, right? But there are little things that do need to be worked out that probably, and I can't say this with 100% certainty because I didn't see the contract, but I don't think all of the little fine details, the idiosyncrasies, like in terms of how you're gonna fly me in and out to these press conferences, how many tickets am I gonna get? Those little things are not always in the contract, and they're worked out afterward. So if what Eddie Hearn is saying is true, that Dillian Whyte's only going to get 6 tickets for this fight to give to his family and friends, then that's legitimate beef on Dillian Whyte's part. I have no problem with him wanting to be flown in on a private jet. I'm going to date myself a little bit here, but you guys may not know this because this was a long time ago, but back in 1985 when Hagler and Hearns were promoting their fight, and they did that multiple city tour in the United States to promote that fight, each fighter was flown around from city to city in a private jet. They each had their own private jet. So this is not unprecedented, a fighter being flown around in a private jet. And I have no problem with that. Why would he be flown, in economy class, being around people where he could probably subject himself to being exposed to COVID? I get all that, the whole thing with the tickets. But at the end of the day, by not showing up to this press conference, that's not going to change those things. If you wanted to get flown in on a private jet, and that was an issue, I guess they said that they were going to allow him to get flown, or they were going to agree to his request about the private jet, but maybe the issue about tickets didn't get resolved, so that could have been a sticking point. And I get all that, but at the end of the day, you're not there just to promote the fight, just to help Tyson Fury with his promotion. You're not there to make the other guy look good. You're there to make yourself look good. You're there to promote yourself. You're there to be accessible to the media. You're there to be accessible to fans who want to see you there. So you're not only slapping the face of Top Rank Frank Warren and Tyson Fury, you're slapping the face of the media. You're slapping the face of your fans, right? And are people going to look back years from now and say, oh, well, this was a travesty that Dillian Whyte didn't show up to the press conference? People are really going to think about the press conference. Like, does anyone go back and look at the Thriller in Manila and say, well, obviously they remember that those press conferences were heated and all that, but is that the focal point of the conversation when people talk about the Thriller of the Manila or the Rumble in the Jungle? Obviously those press conferences do provide footage, right? But at the end of the day, as long as he shows up on fight week and he shows up for the fight, obviously this fight is going to be huge. There's nothing that's going to stop this fight from being huge, in my opinion. I just believe that. And again, Dillian Whyte, by not showing up, he's doing just the opposite of what his goal is. And once again, like I said, your name is attached to this event. Why would you not want to be part of history? Why would you not want someone to say, or why would you not want it to be known and put out there in the record books for the whole world to see, the whole world to know that I was part of the largest, most highest grossing, lucrative fight. I was part of the largest attended fight. I was part of the fight that sold potentially the most pay-per-views in UK history. Why would you not want that attached to your name? Why would you not want that attached to your name? Because even if you lose this fight, right, and you put on the performance of your life, and it turns out to be a phenomenal fight, the more people that see that, the better it is for you, right? The better it is for you in the long run. So this is about not helping them out. It's helping yourself out. Taking pride in the fact that, hey, I'm part of potentially the biggest fight in UK history, the most lucrative fight in UK history, the fight that's been the largest purse bid in boxing history. So you're going to be part of history. So why not want to make that piece of history the best, the biggest it could possibly be, right? So now you're just adding more fuel to the fire. So now all these people are really talking bad about you because you weren't there. I guess the cost benefit of this move, in my opinion, just doesn't favor Dillian Whyte. Just doesn't favor Dillian Whyte, because now there's going to be a lot of people saying, well, this was a slap in the face. A lot of the press, a lot of the fans who are looking forward to seeing you there, they're not going to like that. Even Adam Smith, who's a totally objective person involved in this situation. Obviously, he works for Sky. BT Sport is on Sky, but Adam Smith is affiliated with Sky Box Office. It's different, right? So the thing is this. People are going to look at this, and we also talked about this D-Style and Meister myself, and they're going to call this the Dillian Whyte rule. So every time a fighter doesn't like what he's making, right, and every time a fighter doesn't like his contract, then he's just not going to show up to the press conference. He's just not going to help out with the promotion. Pretty soon, what's going to happen is, just like in the NBA and other sports, it's going to be contracted that these fighters have to show up to press conferences. So what did he really accomplish here? What is the end game here? No matter what he does, this fight is going to be big regardless. So why not just take part in enjoying how big this fight is going to be? Why not be part of history, like I said before? Aaron Daly says, we're still supporting Whyte over here in the UK. Don't think most people really mind. The fight will still be massive. I agree that the fight will still be massive, but this just gives people ammunition to criticize Dillian Whyte, and it just opens the door for controversy. And once again, the controversy, in my opinion, is helping making the fight bigger. So this fight, by him not helping promote the fight, is actually promoting the fight even more, as stupid as that may sound. Whether he cares or not, what he's trying to accomplish here, I think at the end of the day, he's not going to be successful at that, right? He's not going to be successful at that. And if he's really focused so much, and if he's so frustrated and he's focused so much on the financial aspects of this fight, and he's not focusing on Fury himself, because I'm going to go back to a fight, and people may not remember this, but I remember this, where Josh Clottey fought Manny Pacquiao. And it was a very similar situation where he wasn't happy with what he was getting, right? I believe that he got a flat fee of $5 million for that Pacquiao fight with no pay-per-view upside, and he was very upset with that. And he put on one of the most lackluster, admittedly, he even said this himself. He put on one of the most uninspired, lackluster performances of his career. And when he was asked about it after the fight, in later interviews, what he said was, I had no motivation for this fight because I was just so uninspired and so distraught and upset with the fact that I wasn't happy with what I was getting. And because of that, I wasn't motivated for the fight. So it's just like a person who goes to work every day who's not happy with what they make. And they're doing the bare minimum just to get by, because they're saying to themselves, well, I'm not really making a lot of money. Why am I going to go that extra mile and make someone else rich, make the corporation and company rich, if they're not paying me and taking care of me? So I'm just concerned, and I'm curious whether or not this is going to translate into Dillian Whyte's performance. So if you're so unhappy with the financial arrangements and the whole, if you're so unhappy with this whole situation in regards to this fight, if you feel like you're being disrespected and you're being mistreated, right? Are you gonna allow that to cause you to not be motivated going into this fight? Could that affect your mental psyche going into this fight? Right? The fact that you're not being treated properly, the fact that you're being disrespected in your opinion, is that going to weigh on you? And is that going to cause you to lack motivation? Right? Is that going to cause you to lack motivation like it did with Josh Clottey? Because Josh Clottey was so upset with what he was making that he was so uninspired, because if he's saying to himself, I'm in this huge fight against this superstar, but one of the largest, if not the largest guy, right up there with Floyd Mayweather in the sport, and I'm only getting $5 million with no upside. And he said, because of that, I lacked the motivation to really go out there and try to win the fight, because he's saying to himself, why am I going to go out there and kill myself? And it sounds stupid because the $5 million is a lot of money to most of us. But if you feel like you should be getting more than what you're getting paid, a lot of us tend to say to ourselves, well, because I'm not getting what I want, why am I going to go out there and kill myself just for that? Because whether I win, lose, or draw in this fight, I'm going to get paid regardless. So why go out there and kill myself for this? But then the argument could be, well, if you win the fight, then the world is your oyster. But again, if you're so focused on all these other things, and these other things could cause distractions for you going into the fight. Like, in other words, I've heard trainers say this to me several times. A happy fighter is a better fighter in training camp. A happy fighter is a better fighter come fight night. So if a fighter is happy, right? Fighter's happy, then obviously he's going to do better in training camp. He's going to be more motivated, right? And he's going to have a better performance come fight night. But if Dillian Whyte, who ever since this potential fight was announced and it was ordered, he's been unhappy with everything. And I'm not saying he's wrong for being unhappy, but at what point do you just say, fuck it, the fight is here, let's just move forward, let's just do what needs to get done, let's just make this situation the best it could possibly be, and instead of trying to sabotage it? Because again, are you really helping yourself by doing this? And are you really hurting Fury by doing this? You're only making Fury look better, because now he can turn around and say, this guy didn't show up because he's afraid of me. And I'm not saying that's the case, but some people will buy into that, right? Some people will buy into that, because if you don't face, like this whole, like when Deontay Wilder was doing no press, he was only talking to those YouTube channels who were gassing him up. And when he went to that press conference and put his headphones on, these same people who are sitting by Whyte saying, oh yeah, I'm with Whyte, he did the right thing, they were criticizing Wilder for doing that. So there's a lot of inconsistencies here. People are choosing sides, and that's fine. Boxing is tribal, and like I said before, that's what drives the sport, and that's what's going to make this fight bigger, because there are two sides to the coin here. This fight's only going to get bigger. So no matter what he does, this fight is going to be huge. I might take it back. Just had a look online. Loads of tickets are available. Thought they'd fly off. They seem more expensive than usual. That's not what, I don't know where you're getting your information, but people from the UK have been sending me screenshots of them buying tickets, and there's been 100,000 people in the queue. So, again, you have a right to your opinion. The stadium is going to be packed. It's going to be sold out. You have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge that this is going to be a sellout. Come on, stop. You guys are. Let's be logical here. It's going to be a sellout. it's going to be a sellout. Let me see if I can go on my Twitter. People were sending me screenshots of themselves trying to buy tickets to this fight. Let me see what I got here. If I could find all this, let me just take a look at some of these screenshots that I've got. Yeah, so someone was in the queue. And if you look at this, it says people currently ahead of you, 157, 114. Let me see if I can get this on here. Yeah, so if you can see that, look at that. People currently ahead of you, 100,000, 157,114. When it's your turn, we will guide you through to choose your tickets. So again, we got to stop. We got to stop. We got to really take our personal feelings out of this. I mean, if you don't have to like Tyson Fury, you can root for this fight to fail. But at the end of the day, you have to acknowledge the fact that this fight is garnering a lot of attention over in the UK. And there's no doubt that stadium is going to be sold out. If they sold that many tickets in 3 hours, then it doesn't matter. Again, here's the thing what you guys don't understand. It's very common in the sport of boxing, and I've seen it myself, where you have these secondary markets who are buying up all the tickets and they're going to sell them at an increased price. There's nothing that can be done, right, to stop that, right? So there's going to be a resale market, but at the end of the day, right, a ticket sold is a ticket sold. If they sell, if StubHub or Ticketmaster, whoever wants to buy those tickets buys those tickets, that's a sale, and that's money that goes in their pocket. And again, there are going to be people out there who are going to buy these tickets at the secondary price, because again, if these what's happening is if these secondary markets are buying up these tickets so fast and they're not available for the general public to buy them, right? And these people really want to go to the fight, they're going to pay the increased price, right? The inflated price to go see the fight. I've seen it several times. So let's be honest. The fight's going to sell out. We already know that the fight's going to sell out. There's no way the fight doesn't sell out. And in my opinion, there's no way the fight does less than 1 million pay-per-view buys in the UK. It's just impossible, in my opinion, that this fight does not. This is going to be the biggest fight of the year, without question, in my opinion. There's no fight that is going to rival this fight. And even if AJ does fight Usyk, it's not a bigger fight than this. Canelo Bivol is not a bigger fight than this. It's just not. It's just not. It's just not a bigger fight. It's just not. In my opinion, this fight is going to at least do 200,000 pay-per-view buys here in the United States. I think it has the potential to do 300,000 pay-per-view buys here, which is not bad considering the time slot and considering it's 2 UK fighters. Could it do 500,000? I don't think so, but it's possible. I think I'm going to say it does in between 250 to 300,000 pay-per-view buys here in the United States. I think it's going to do more than a Tank fight. Right? If Tank Barrios can do 200,000, there's no reason why this fight can't do 200,000. Come on, let's be real here. Let's be real here. There's no way this fight's not going to do 1 million pay-per-view buys over in the UK. It's impossible. It's virtually impossible. I don't care BT. I don't care if the fucking Disney Channel is the fucking pay-per-view outlet. It's going to do 1 million pay-per-view buys, right? It's gonna do it. The fucking Pornhub can be the fucking distributor. It's gonna do 1 million pay-per-view buys. It doesn't matter. Little Penny. I mean, we saw what happened. 3 hours, 90,000 tickets sold. I mean, John Daly was making some claims yesterday. I mean, if this doesn't debunk what he was saying yesterday, I don't know what does. And again, am I off here by Dillian Whyte not showing up? People are talking about. It's giving everyone more to talk about. It's more headlines. It's more controversy. He only made the fight bigger by not showing up. He's only helping. He's only helping the fight by not promoting the fight. He's actually promoting the fight.
Yeah,
it's just that simple.
But Beebs, I agree with you. Although I think the fight that may be bigger this calendar year Is Canelo Triple G in September?
Possible.
Trilogy, man. Oh,
We'll see. We'll see. Team Batman Boxing said they could have sold Wembley 10 times over. Trust me, I was trying to get them for hours. John Daly, I think he was just way off yesterday. I mean, you can tell when someone is talking off of emotion. He just doesn't like Fury. And you don't. I mean, if you don't like Fury, and you know what's the craziest thing, Little Penny? All these people that are telling me that this fight's not going to do well, and all these people were saying, well, I agree with Dillian Whyte not showing up. Oh, really? So you agree with that, right? So are you still going to buy the fight? Yeah, I'm still going to buy the fight. So by like, what is he accomplishing? Like everyone that's standing by him, by him not showing up, he's not hurting anybody. But by not hurting anybody, he's still not helping himself. Because again, your name is on this event, right? This is a fight that's going to go in the history books potentially as the largest fight in the history of UK. You're having two British fighters, right, fighting for a title. And the last time you had this was Lewis versus Bruno. Yeah. Last time you had this was Lewis versus Bruno. And how long ago was that? Like 2030?
95? I think 95.
I can't remember what year that fight was. But that was over 20 years ago. So this is a monumental event, right? And if Eddie Hearn wants this thing to fail just because he's not part of it, if he wants this thing to fail so he could turn around and say, well, if I was involved with it, it would have been bigger. Again, let's be honest here. You can't be someone who says you want the sport of boxing to succeed and root against this fight, right? You can't be anyone who really loves the sport of boxing and who has a vested interest in the sport of boxing. If you're rooting for this fight to fail, then I question how big of a fan you really are. Because this fight, the bigger this fight is, the better it is for the sport as a whole.
But Bibbs, why not invite him? Why not? Why didn't they invite him?
I I don't agree with that either. Like they're being a little petty. Like everyone's being petty here. There's no question about it, right? Everyone's being petty. Why couldn't he come? Even though he's not the promoter, why isn't he allowed to be there? I mean, I'm sure if he was there, they weren't going to throw him out. I mean, anyone can be there. I mean, I guess if you're, I don't know, did you have to have a press pass to go to the press conference, or was it open to the public?
No, I don't think it was open for the public.
Wasn't open to the public, so you had to have a press pass. You had to be invited.
Yep.
There's no reason why he shouldn't have been there. But
he's a good promoter, Bibbs.
Again, he's a good
promoter. As co-promoter, he's good. He
is a great promoter. You can argue he's the best promoter in the sport of boxing right now.
And Dillian Whyte would have definitely been there, that's for sure.
You could argue he's the best promoter in the sport of boxing, but that doesn't mean that he's not being petty in this situation. That doesn't mean that he's not letting his personal feelings and his competitiveness cloud his judgment. Why? Like, have you ever noticed every time there's an event that he's not involved with, he always finds a way to talk shit about it? And now that he's not involved with Sky Sports anymore, now he's even like being critical of Sky Sports now. Oh, well, that undercard was trash. Oh, well, now they're pushing boxing so hard, but when I was there, they weren't. Like, why is he always bitter towards something he's not involved in? Why can't he be supportive of all of boxing? Why can't he just say, like, Bob Arum never shits on an event. He never does. Like, none of these other promoters really. You could say what you want about Leonard Ellerby. You could say what you want about PBC. These guys don't look at other people's events and say, well, that sucks. That's this, that's that. Now, De La Hoya came out and was trying to trash Mayweather McGregor. When a promoter does that, he really makes himself look bad because it makes him look jealous. It makes him look resentful. It makes him look like, oh, because I'm not part of that big event, I don't want it to succeed because I'm not gaining from that. But at the end of the game, Bob Arum has said this to me several times. He goes, listen, I want that event to do well. I want this event to do well, even though I'm not part of it, because it makes the sport bigger. And I'm in the boxing business, so I want boxing to be as big as it can be. A lot of people don't look at the long game. They don't look at the long game here. And if Dillian Whyte does win this fight, right? Why would he not want as many people to see this fight as possible? Why would Eddie Hearn? Again, I'm going to keep saying this, and I sound like a broken record, but you're not there just to promote the fight. You're there to promote your brand. You're there to promote yourself. You're there to be part of history. I'm going to ask you this question because I said this. Anytime your name is attached to something, right? Don't you want whatever it's attached to be the biggest and best it could be?
Yeah.
Have you ever been part of something that you actually rooted against? So if you're on a baseball team, right, and you may hate the coach, you may not like every player on the team, but you're on that team. Are you going to sabotage that team because you're mad at some of the players that you don't get along with some of the players? You don't like your coach? Are you going to just say, well, fuck it, I'm going to try to do shitty on purpose? And then people are going to look at you like, oh, this kid sucks. He like, why would you not want to make yourself look as good as you can?
Although, Beeps, to be honest, I really enjoyed watching Miami Heat lose to Dallas. I can't remember the first year that super team was formed.
Everyone was rooting against that team. Everyone was rooting against that team, and they did it to themselves when they paraded. They had that big special, and they paraded all those. That is going to be the low light of LeBron James's career. No one's going to ever forget that. That'll be brought up from years to come. And you have guys like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, even Michael Jordan saying, you know what these guys are doing today, creating these super teams, it's ridiculous. It's like when you go to the playground and you and we used to call it bucking up, right? You buck up and you choose sides, and everyone picks who's going to pick the best players, right? So if one side has all the best players, it's not even a game, right? So that that's always going to be brought up with LeBron. Like he always went to teams where he felt he could win, and he never carried a team on his back, so to speak.
But Vince, to be fair, the Cleveland win was probably worth 2 rings, whereas his 2 rings in Miami is probably worth 1.
Well, the rings he's had in Miami and the rings he's had in LA. I mean, people are gonna look at those and say, well, those teams were special, customized, made teams just for him to win it. It was in the situations he was in on those 2 teams, it was impossible for him to not win. But then the argument could be made with Jordan. Well, Jordan never beat Matt. Did Jordan beat the Magic Lakers? Didn't he?
Yeah, 91.
91. Yes. But he never beat Isaiah, and he never beat Bird.
Nope.
But
nope.
I don't know. Does that matter? I don't know.
Well, no, they did. No. Abib, sorry. 91,
he did beat the Pistons eventually.
Yeah, they swept him. But he never beat the Celtics in a series.
He never beat the Celtics. That's correct. But he did beat the Pistons eventually.
Oh yeah, remember when Isaiah was at the end of the game? He was walking out. Before the
he ducked his head down like this, and he didn't want to look at anybody. Yeah, he didn't want to shake anybody's hand.
To see him right in front of Jordan and Pippen. Remember that?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Stuff like that, man. Like, I don't like this frenemy stuff. Like, even in boxing, that happens too. With like, oh, I don't want to fight this guy because it's my friend. Like, stuff that, man. Like, what's going on? What's going on with this buddy? Like, even in boxing, man. Like, I don't like it. Like,
yeah, if Joseph Parker can never fight Tyson Fury, then what's the sense?
Yeah.
Hey, how come John didn't show up today?
Yeah, he's got to show up. I like John. He's kind of cool.
How come John didn't show up? Now that we're virtually sold out in one day, how come John's not here?
Oh, okay. Oh, Beeps, I heard Tyson Fury. I don't know if you heard. Tyson Fury said that they may extend the
Frank Warren said it.
they won 102,000 or something like that.
They put in a request to extend the seating.
Yeah, because Beeps, I don't know if you saw in the AJ Klitschko fight, you can see that on the ground, on the grass, there's a few seats that you can put in there.
They added some seats, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can is it possible to add 10,000 more seats to that stadium?
I don't know.
Because they want to extend it to 100,000, they said, or would you say 102,000?
102. That's what Fury said. But Beeps, I have been to a stadium fight. I went to the Pacquiao Clotty fight in Dallas Cowboys Stadium. It was terrible.
Oh, I hate stadium fights.
Yeah, you can't see anything. It's too far away. Whereas when I was at the MGM for Mayweather Canelo, it was really good. You were so close. Even I was on the third tier.
This is what I used to say this to, like, when Eddie Hearn, we're selling out. Boxing is not a stadium sport. It's just it's not a stadium sport. Yeah. It's just not designed to be in a stadium. It's just not. Agree. It's too hard to see a fight in a stadium. Yeah. There's too many shitty seats.
Yes. You know? Yes. Definitely.
Now football's different because the field is so big and there's so many players.
Yeah.
And it's different. You know what I mean? But even in football games, people still bring their binoculars. It's just, I mean, okay, you have the Teletron, whatever. I think they have a video. They have a video screen there at Wembley too. I'm assuming, correct? I don't
think it's at the center though. I think it's on the.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's like Sofitel, whatever that. You know what? I don't think it's like that.
Yeah. And Eric and I were talking about this on Sunday, and I've talked like this to a lot of people. I'd rather watch a fight at home. I don't like being live in an event. I think sometimes I like being live in an event if I'm covering it and I can interview fighters and talk to people. Sometimes the atmosphere, when you hear the crowd cheering, there's nothing like being there when you. But in terms of just from a viewing standpoint, I love being home. Seeing all those, being able to see everything, the angles, the instant replays.
But the Las Vegas weekend, it's just nothing like it, because I also went to New York to watch Cotto Martinez, and it didn't have that vibe. Whereas in Las Vegas, it had that vibe.
Vegas is awesome, bro.
Yeah, it's like, and even in other, like that fight was at the MGM. I went to the Luxor to watch Fantasy, and even halfway through the show, the what's it called? The comedian even said, "Hey, who's here for the fight?" And then the whole crowd was yelling out, "Canelo," or "Si se puede," or whatever. I didn't even know that there were boxing fans until they started yelling. And and that was like on a Thursday night, and the fight was Saturday night. And I was thinking, wow, this is such an amazing event.
Yeah.
Peeps, I hear Mandalay Bay is the best for boxing. Mandalay Bay, because it's so close. It's only like 10,000, I think, or 8,000.
Yeah,
I hear that's the best venue for boxing.
I've been to the MGM Grand. I like that. I like the MGM Grand. But yeah, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong in Vegas. Can't go wrong in Vegas. But I'm not a stadium fan for fights. But again,
that's why, Beebs, if Kambosos fights Lomachenko here in Melbourne, Australia, I'm actually having second thoughts of traveling to there, because it will be in a stadium as well. I was thinking, because
Lomachenko's not fighting Kambosos, man. Kambosos is gonna end up fighting Haney, bro.
Oh, either way, or whatever. Yeah.
He's gonna end up fighting Haney, bro.
How come that fight hasn't been announced? It's already March. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And this whole thing, I got to ask your opinion on this. We're going to get a little political here, if you don't mind.
No, good.
I'm not a big fan of all these champions who are Russian being being stripped by these sanctioning.
Right.
I don't mind that Russian people don't kill me. Don't set me up like that, please.
Yeah. No, because you paused, dude. You paused.
No, these sanctioning bodies are saying all these Russian champions. I think they're saying they're going to strip them, or they're not. Yeah, they're not going to recognize their titles anymore, like the WBO, the WBC, and the IBF. I think the WBA is going to allow fighters who currently hold titles to continue to hold their titles. I don't know if they're going to change their stance on that, but is it their fault? Like, we don't know their political stance because you're from that country, right? So now what are we going to say? Because we have conflict. Anytime we have conflict with a country, if we have a fighter that holds a title from that country, we're going to just take their title away. Is that fair? Do you agree with that?
What about when America invaded Iraq? Like, when we stripped the titles from Mayweather and stuff like that? Like, no, of course not. So it can't be a double standard. Yes. No, I disagree. No, I disagree with that.
I don't like it. I'm not with that. Now they're questioning whether or not the Bivol fight's going to be for a title with Canelo.
Yeah. Because I don't even like it when in the Olympics, when the Russian team have ROC, Russian Olympic Committee or something like that. I don't even like that. Like, what's up with that? Like, I know they had some drug problems and stuff, but man, there's a lot of drugs in sports.
But again, in fairness to these athletes, they're not involved in the political arena, and we don't know what their political stance is. Or are we just gonna, again, the whole guilty by association? Are we just going to assume that it's like this whole COVID thing, right? When Asian people were being treated poorly here because of what was going on in China. That's discrimination. That's considered those are essentially hate crimes, right?
Yeah.
So to me, this is a form of discrimination, in my opinion, that they're doing this, right? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think it's fair to these athletes. So you're going to take away, like, now they're saying that Better Beeve and Joe Smith can't go on. They're going to postpone it.
That's a good fight too. I like that.
I mean,
fight.
why would they do this?
Yeah.
How do we, like, why is what does Better Beeve have to do with anything? You know what I mean? Like, why is that his issue? How you're just assuming that Better Beeve is taking part, or he's on board with what's going on in Russia? Like, it's just so unfair. It's just so discriminatory. It sends a horrible message. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at what's going on with Better Beeve and Joe Smith.
I like that fight. I do think Batavia will win, but I like that fight. That's an exciting fight.
I actually think Smith style-wise has a very good shot in that fight. I think he's alive.
Got power, man. He's got power. He can just get a box sometimes, but Berteviev, he can't box.
All right, so let me see. Joe Smith. Let me just see what they're going to do here. Arthur Beterbiev. Let's see what the latest news is on this. I heard they were going to postpone it, but okay, February 13th. Yeah, there's not much. There's no more news on this. Let me see if I can find some news on this, whether they're going to postpone this or not. I think they're saying they're going to wait till after June. Let's try to find out what's going on here. Oh, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I got to find out more about this. But the whole thing about Usyk and Anthony Joshua, that now they're saying Anthony Joshua may take an interim fight in between.
Oh, man.
Because they're going to have to wait for Usyk. But, yeah, I don't see any news. I don't see any news on this.
Hey, Beebs, the Ugas Spence press conference, was I didn't even know it was on today.
I saw it. Yeah, I didn't see it all. I got to go back and watch the whole thing.
No, because I was watching the Canelo Bivol press conference.
Yeah, and I guess
you look big, Bivol. Damn.
Yeah, Bivol's big. That's gonna be a tough fight for Canelo. But what was interesting with the Spence thing, they asked him a question. You haven't had a knockout in a long time. Can you knock out Or they asked him if he was going to knock out Ugas, and he said, "Well, I haven't scored a knockout in a long time. Yeah, we'll see what happens." So now people are taking that and they're taking it out of context, and they're saying, "Oh, Errol Spence questions whether or not he can knock out Ugas." See, that's why these press conferences are cool, man, because you can get these sound bites, you can get these headlines. You know what I mean? And that sometimes that's why fighters don't like to talk to the press, because they get taken out of context like that. So I'm sure Spence, you know, feels as though if the opportunity presents itself, he can get a stoppage, but people are
Have
going to
you
look
seen
at
on his, have you seen on his press conference? And you've been to probably a few yourself because you've
few, yeah.
interviewed, Sugar Ray and Bob Arum. I don't like it when after the fighters talk, then the promoter asks them question.
I hate that.
I want the reporters to ask them questions. I remember like when Mike Tyson fought, I think it was Sheldon or something, or maybe even Evander Holyfield. That one of the reporters said, "Hey, Mike, how long do you think this will last?" And Mike said, "Don't get your hot dog or something because it's not going to last long." Like stuff like that. Like it revs because to get the questions from the reporters, you have to go to their I have to go to Fight Hype and you know what I mean. I want to hear their questions because they're not manufactured.
What was good at that Canelo press conference is they did let the press ask a lot of questions, and I got to give Canelo credit, man. Canelo is really doing excellent with the press now. He's really making himself accessible. Fury, someone I think what is his name? That guy Aid. I forget what his last name is. He's
England.
Yeah, the guy Aid
begins
with an O.
Ade Olapo or something like that.
Ade Olapo or something like that. He said that he was so impressed that Tyson Fury made himself available to every single person that was there, whether they were big channel or a small channel or a big outlet or a small outlet. He talked to every single media outlet and entity there. So that was very, very nice to hear. I was impressed by that. But
what I'm saying is it's part of the press conference because those questions from the media is after the press conference.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
So you'd rather them just do away with
be part of it.
Yeah, you'd rather it just be focused on the media asking questions and not.
Yeah, like so what Eddie Hearn says, okay, any questions from the press, and then they'll give the mic to the whoever is reporting, and they ask the questions. Kind of like a post-fight press conference.
You know what I can't stand is those UK press conferences, like that Con Brook press conference or the Jack Catterall, Josh Taylor press conference over in the UK with Adam Smith asking questions. Was he asking? No, it wasn't him asking. Was it him asking questions? Yeah, he was asking questions, right? How many times are you going to sit there and ask Jack Catterall, are you ready for this event? Are you ready? Are you ready? Why ask a question that you already know the answer to? What is he going to say? No, I'm not ready. I'm just here because I want to get paid. I don't think I can win this fight. This is the biggest fight of your career. It's a big stage. You've never been on this stage before. Are you going to be ready? And then 3 seconds later, there's going to be a big crowd there. It's going to be a crazy environment. Everyone's going to be rooting against you. Are you going to be ready for that? You're asking him the same question 15 times, but you're just wording it differently. What the fuck is he supposed? No disrespect to Adam Smith, but he asks the most generic, basic, stupid. It's almost like he has a fucking cue card, and in every event he asks the same question to every fighter. It's just stupid.
That's why I like the media to ask the questions because, for example, Michelle Joy Phelps, she asks really good questions actually, and they always have her last for some reason in the post-fight press conference. They should have her first. I like
Michelle. You like Michelle Joy Phelps?
I don't know, Beefs. It's not what you think, but
no, I'm not asking if you like her like that, but do you like her interviewing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do because she has a lot of the boxers like Dillian Whyte, Derek Chisora, Tyson Fury. They're very cheeky to her, and sometimes their responses is a little sexist, but in a nice, not in a derogatory way, because they know her. You know what I mean. And I kind of like that.
I'll say this. At first, I didn't like her, but she's gotten better. What I don't like is she's always touching and flirting with these guys, and
I don't mind that.
It's too personable. It's almost like
she's got a boyfriend though, Beebs.
She's got a couple boyfriends, but But here's the issue with that. Like it becomes a point where is this an objective interview, or are you too close to these people? And then that laugh, I can't stand that
Yeah.
laugh. That laugh, like
I don't mind.
what's hilarious.
I actually laugh when she laughs.
All right, you're a fan. I can't change your mind. You probably got a couple. You probably have those videos already in your playlist
No,
right
no,
now.
no, because she's got like because she has info that like sometimes
Well, I will say
media
this:
can't ask. You know
they
what I mean?
do
She
give her.
knows.
She does have great access. There's no and
Yeah.
she's worked for that access.
Oh
She's
yeah,
and
over
and
10 years, Beebs.
she's traveled and she's put in the work. We
Yeah.
can't hate on Michelle Joy Phelps. And I actually think that the interviews are better. But there's some things that I don't like. But it's
The other
fine.
good one, Beebs, I really like is Ellie Setback. He actually
He's
waits
horrible.
at
Come
the
on.
airport, man.
I know, but he's a horrible interviewer. You have to.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, yeah. But his access is like
what's your favorite ice cream? Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
reporting.
Hey, what's your favorite rap album?
Well, I like Beebs. I like the fact that he waits at the airport, man. Like he waits for like Pacquiao to get off lax.
Yeah, I mean, once again, he's a hard
That's
worker, but
That's hard work, man.
his questions suck. He's like the worst interviewer I've ever seen in my life. He's a horrible interviewer. I think he's bad. But yeah, she does. I give her credit, man. She travels a lot. She's hustled. She's grinded.
She's got a big staff now, Beebs. She's
Yeah,
got like 3 or 4 other people working for her now.
Yeah, she's grown. She's doing well. I can't hate on her. But what makes me laugh is someone else will be doing an interview, like Coogan Cassius will be doing an interview with he'll be interviewing Tyson Fury, and then in the background you hear this. You can like her laugh is like it could be heard throughout the whole fucking.
Beebs, that's another good one.
press room.
Coogan MTK. He's got good access too.
Yeah. I appreciate that team. He said, I'm not joking when I say I would love Beeb to be in the media more often. Swap them both for the Beeb right now. Yeah, I appreciate that. I got to get out there more because I'm lazy, man. I'm not a big. My big problem is I'm not crazy about traveling. I like my home setting. I like my routine and shit. And but I got to get out there. When I was with the Boston Voice, I used to travel a little bit. I used to go to some events. I used to do some live.
How come you left there, Beebs? I watch that show sometimes.
Yeah,
doing
there's a big drama with that. We had issues and stuff, but we're cool now. But
he's got good access too, Beebs.
Yeah, he's a hard worker, man. But you've seen over the years, like the co-hosts don't last over there. It's tough, now Doomy's gone, Mario's gone. I mean, now he's got that one guy. It's like, it's tough over there. But yeah, I'm surprised you didn't follow that whole thing when the drama when it went down. You had issues.
No, I actually followed Richard Dwyer when I was like back in 2008.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's okay. Yeah, I listen to him sometimes. I don't watch him as much as I used to, but he's okay.
I like when he gets his bets wrong all the time. He always gets them wrong.
Well, here's the problem with him. He sits there and tells you to straddle every bet. I'm taking this guy and straddling it with so and so by KO. Why would you do that? Like, if you're gonna straddle it with the KO bet, right? He's telling you to bet the underdog, but then he's telling you to bet the favorite at a minus something. Like, how do you make money that way? If you believe in your bet, but you're not really hedged. It's a shitty hedge. You know why it's a shitty hedge? Because the other side of the hedge is fucking a huge favorite. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then he just like every time he picks somebody, he just takes the other, hedges it with the opposite guy by knockout, even if the guy's not a knockout puncher. It's just, yeah, he makes no sense, bro.
Hey, Beebs, is there money? Like, if you do this full time, right, Beebs? Like Michelle Joy Phelps. Is there money? Is there money in it?
Yeah, like, you can make good money. Like Ness quit his job. He bought two houses.
Yeah. Oh wow. Same as the what's his name? Showbiz the adult. He also quit his job.
Oh, he quit his job, he said?
Yeah, he quit his job and
Yeah.
did
He gets a
this.
lot of views. He gets a lot of views.
Yeah, that's because he's close to Mike Tyson. He even had access to Mike Tyson's hot boxing studio, and he did a show there. And he even went to his house.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he did a show at his Mike Tyson's ranch during the Roy Jones Tyson fight.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's why he gets a lot of views. And also, what really made him popular is because he showed a video of like Pacquiao, and YouTube restricted his I don't know what happened, but Pacquiao called YouTube, right, and said, "Hey, no, it's fine, no problem." And then he had a video where he showed that story, and all of the Filipinos started
Yeah.
following him.
Yeah. He seems like a real nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
He's
seems like
impartial, like you. He's impartial.
yeah, he's fair. He's
Yes.
fair.
Yeah.
I
In fact, all the your round table.
You know what my
group-
favorite channel is on here? Even though I don't agree with him all the time. I really like Ring IQ. I like
Yeah.
I love those videos he does with I like the editing. I just like the whole format he does with the intro and the way he does the voices. And I don't agree with him on certain things. Like I don't agree with him here on this Fury situation, but I still enjoy listening to him. He's going to be on the round table tonight. Actually, we're doing the round table tonight. A lot of times I invite him on the round table just because I like his take on things, even when I don't agree with his take. He makes good points still. You know what I mean?
I like boxing. I like boxing dev Beebs. You guys should let her talk more. I like her accent.
Yeah, I
it's
like
so
her too.
sexy, man. Like when she talks about boxing, like Mayweather.
She's so passionate. Yeah.
Yeah, Mayweather is an idiot, and then she asks Ring IQ, "Hey, can you translate this in English?" Like, it's so cool, man. It's like it's not manufactured.
Yeah,
like
she's got a lot of passion.
Argentina.
She's got a lot of passion. I like her a lot.
Yeah,
she's nice.
Yeah. You can really tell she loves boxing. I'm surprised that she's not a boxer herself.
And you know what's good? She asks really good questions during interviews. Like, she was on we interviewed, who did we interview? We interviewed I forget who we interviewed recently. I think it was a band. We interviewed a 115 pounder, I think. 122 pounder or something. But she did a good job there. Yeah, she's good.
Hey, but you know what I really hate? Those LDBC channels. I hate those channels, man. Because they just got an agenda. They just want to promote Mayweather and what's his name, Tank Davis, and I don't like that, man. It's got to be objective, dude.
I'm a big Tyson Fury fan, but I criticize Tyson Fury like when he didn't rematch Klitschko, and he was that whole situation with the PEDs and stuff. That was all on him. I mean, he had to deal with the repercussions of that,
It was a boring fight, though, Beebs. I don't think anyone wanted a rematch. It was a terrible fight.
And a lot of people didn't like the fight. I actually liked the boxing ability of Fury in that fight. And in the later rounds, he started hurting Klitschko a little bit and started coming on. But the general consensus is that wasn't an enjoyable fight. There weren't a lot of punches.
But Beebs, give credit to him that he changed his style after the Wilder Fury 1 fight. Yeah, he went more offensive. You got to give him credit. That's why I like him, because he changed his style.
This fight with Whyte is going to be an awesome fight.
Because Whyte will come forward.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really, really pumped for this fight. I'm excited for this fight. I'm really, really getting behind this fight. This is a fucking
I like also
awesome
the Serrano Katie Taylor fight, Beebs, because it's so
I may try to go to that.
But Matt, you're from Boston. Yeah, you should. But it's sold out already, Beebs. I don't think unless you buy it from.
No, I'm trying to get credentialed to that.
Oh, okay, good on you, man. Yeah.
I'm trying to
do a live inside Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I'm trying to go there with Maestro.
Oh, good on you, man.
Yeah, if I'm going to be there, I'm trying to. In an ideal world, Maestro and I could be there together, working together.
Yeah, and do a live beam, so we feel like we're there with you.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
Even on the hotel, who cares? Like, as long as you're, like you say, you're from New York, we can hear the sirens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I'm
Hey,
already
Beeps,
I'm already hooked up there if I go down there, man. I got a nice spot I could
oh,
stay
man,
at and
that'll be good,
everything.
man. That fight, I can't. There's so much on the. If Taylor wins this fight, she can arguably become the greatest female fighter of all time. But if Serrano wins, she will be the 8th division world champion, kind of like Manny Pacquiao, right?
Isn't
It's a
she already in?
50-50
Isn't she
fight.
already in eight? Isn't she already in eight
Yeah,
division
7.
world? She's only 7.
7. Yeah. It's a 50-50 fight.
Who do you think's
There's
going to win
Puerto
that fight?
Ricans.
Who do you
Sorry?
like? Who do you like?
I got Katie, man. She's Catholic, dude. I'm going for the Irish girl, man, and she's religious as well. I'm not religious myself, but because she reminds me a lot like Pacquiao, where
You're
her
not
whole
religious,
country's
but you're
behind
going
her.
with the religious person.
Yeah, because Pacquiao is religious. You know what I mean?
But you're
I'm
not religious. You're not
No, I'm not.
religious. So why do you?
No, because
root for-
Pacquiao is religious, and I like Pacquiao, and she reminds me of Pacquiao because her whole country's behind her.
Oh, so
And
you
she's an
like
offensive
the
fighter.
fact that they're passionate and they're passionate about something. Like you like the fact
Yeah.
that even though you're not religious, if someone's religious, you respect the fact that someone sticks to their laurels.
Yeah.
And they
Because
have,
that turned around Pacquiao's life. Because he was like sleeping with girls and stuff like that. And Jinky.
we don't know what Pacquiao's doing behind the scenes. We don't know.
Nah, but in Philippines, Beebs, everybody knows each other's business, so I don't think you can get away with that in Philippines.
Those Filipino girls are beautiful, man. I like those Asian honey dips. I like that. I love.
Beebs, I'm opposite. Beebs, even though I'm half Filipino, I'm opposite to you. I like blondes, Beebs.
Do you?
Blondes,
I love the Asian women.
I've only been out with one Asian girl who was a Filipina, and it was a disaster, man. I haven't done it since. But obviously, because my mom's Filipina, of course I respect them.
Yeah, they're great women too. The Filipino women.
Oh yeah, they're very loyal. They will cook for you.
They'll take care of you, man.
Yeah. Great cook.
You know what I like? You like this is the beautiful thing about a Filipino woman. You'll be sitting down, you'll be sitting down just like this, doing something. They'll come up behind you. They'll start rubbing your shoulders. I mean, I've gotten first class treatment from these Filipino women.
Not Thailand style though. More respectable.
Well, there's a couple of variety of things that I've been privy to, but we won't get into that right now. But yeah, I'm surprised John didn't show up, man. I want to hear John.
Man.
I want to hear
John's. That was a really good podcast yesterday. Like, it was kind of cool. Like how he's so passionate.
I'll tell you,
AJ.
I have not met two people. You know Raphael Dawkins?
Who's that?
He's another YouTube channel on here. He's a huge AJ fan and a huge Tyson Fury hater. Him and John are the biggest AJ fans and Eddie Hearn fans that I've ever seen in my life. You remember when I kept telling everybody that Fury Joshua fight was never going to happen? Remember I kept saying that? And I kept saying that they were dragging out that arbitration thing with Wilder and Fury because they wanted to wait so they could put it in front of a live crowd. And I kept saying that for months, and everyone kept saying, "Oh, you're full of shit. You're a hater. You just don't want to see the." Listen, I already told you it was never going to happen, and it didn't happen. I told everyone it was a smokescreen.
I still want to see that fight, though, Beebs. Regardless of what happens, AJ Fury at Wembley as well.
You want to see that?
Yeah, but I want to see Wilder AJ first.
Really?
Because both of them are like washed up, and I'd rather see that because we all know Fury's going to beat AJ. Whereas AJ Wilder, I'm swaying towards Wilder, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm actually like hoping that AJ loses to Usyk so that it will be because if AJ wins against Usyk, man, he'll kill Wilder. Because then he would have adjusted and his confidence is now back. Whereas Wilder, he's washed up now, man.
If AJ loses to Usyk, you're saying he'll be better?
No. If AJ wins, right?
Oh, okay.
You know what? So I'm actually preferring AJ to lose, so that
Let me ask
AJ
you this:
Wilder fight is more fairer.
Let me ask you this: does AJ come off as a guy who maybe questions himself, maybe does lack some confidence, in your opinion?
Yeah. You know what, Beeps? Some people have disagreed with me with this. I reckon that Klitschko fight really did him
No, a
bad.
lot of people do agree with you. A lot of people
Even
do.
though he lost, sorry, he won. Even though he won and he got up, I think that fight made him old overnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beeps, that knockout, that Klitschko, not knockdown, that was brutal, man. Like, I don't think AJ felt anything like that in his life. Like,
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. And that Ruiz rematch, man, he was running around. He was like Floyd Mayweather in that ring. He was too scared.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that rematch, man. A lot of people
He's
did
an
not
easy
like
guy
that.
to root for, though, Beebs. AJ, because
Very likable individual.
yeah.
Hard to say anything bad about the guy from a personal
And he
aspect.
takes everyone on, Beebs. He doesn't duck anyone. He's taken all of his mandatories. He hasn't got any excuses like not to like him.
Yeah, I like him. I have nothing against the guy.
He's in exciting fights. He always knocks people out, and he gets knocked out himself.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's cool. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen here, man. I think this fight's gonna be huge, but I don't know what's gonna happen with some of these other fights. I don't know what's gonna happen with Usyk. I don't know what's gonna happen with Bivol. I don't know if that
Yeah.
fight's. I hope.
Bateviev, you mean Bateviev?
Well, Bivol too. I don't know if they're going to still allow that fight to be for a title. I don't know if they're going to take the title off the table because that was being mentioned too. They were talking. They were asking Eddie Hearn and Canelo. You know, what do you think? What happens if the WBA steps in and makes
I
this
don't
a
think
non-title fight?
Bibbs, knowing the WBA, I don't know if they'll pass on that sanctioning fee.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying too. So that's the thing.
They got 3 belts, Bibbs. You got the super,
How
the regular, and interim,
how
and
can
the 3 they don't fight each other too.
how convenient is it that the Better Be of Joe Smith fight's being put on hold, but this fight is not? Again, this is the inconsistency and the bullshit with these sanctioning bodies, and they wonder why. They wonder why they get criticized. They wonder why they're called corrupt. They wonder why they're called, political. They're in the fighters' pockets. It's hard, man, to not criticize these sanctioning bodies, man. They're a
But
joke.
Bibbs, I hear the fighters, they don't mind having a regular belt because it increases their
Sure, yeah,
increases their bargaining power when
sure,
they get to the negotiation table, and they want confidence that they got a belt on their shoulder or on their, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
from the boxer's point of view, they don't mind, but it's us fans that we don't like it, and because it's too confusing. Like, who's the champion? Even with the WBA, the super champion should fight the regular champion, or the interim champion should fight the regular champion. Then the winner of that fights the super champion, right?
sure.
They don't even do that.
No, I get it.
The only time that happened was when Pacquiao fought Thurman, whereas Pacquiao was the regular, Thurman was the super. Other than that, I think that's the only fight I know that happened.
Here's the thing with the WBA, though. They stripped Manny Pacquiao, but they let Keith Thurman have that title for fucking 2 years. Once again, it's the inconsistencies of how they operate, man.
Yeah.
It's just very hard to get behind these sanctioning bodies, man.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, that's about it, man. I mean, what else you want to talk about before I jump off here?
Hey, but what's with the Asian fetish, dude?
Oh, you questioning that? That's about I've always had that. It's just my personal preference. I find myself more attracted to Asian women.
Okay. Yeah, because I find myself attracted to blondes for some reason. I don't know why.
You like the blondes?
Yeah.
Are you married?
No.
You're not married? No.
I chose not to be for obvious reasons.
And you live in New Zealand?
Yes.
Is boxing big in New Zealand?
Nah, not really. But when there is an event here, it is big. You know what I mean? But it's not like it's followed like, say, in Southern California or
What's
in
what's his name? What's that guy?
Joseph Parker.
The guy
David Tua.
not David Tua, but Joseph Parker's trainer. What's his name? Kevin Barry. Isn't he from New Zealand too?
See, Beeps, I actually, because even though I'm New Zealand, Beeps, I actually follow Filipino fighters because I'm
Oh, okay.
Filipino.
So
But
what do you
I do
think?
have an interest with New Zealand fighters too.
What do you think of Manny Pacquiao Promotions headed up by Sean Gibbons? Because a lot of people don't like Sean Gibbons being the president of Manny Pacquiao Promotions. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, Beeps, Sean Gibbons is a nephew of Bob Arum. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's his nephew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
By
but I do
marriage?
like-
By marriage or by?
I don't know, but it's his nephew. But I do like him better than Michael Kahns.
Michael
Because
Kahns,
Michael
yeah.
Kahns, and BG, you might know this better than I do because you got some connection at Top Rank. I felt like he was working for Top Rank rather than MP Promotions because you
Yeah.
should have gotten Manny Pacquiao out of Top Rank 2012, right? So that he can be a free
Yeah.
agent, and then that fight with Floyd would have happened in 2012 or 13 or wherever.
So
know
when
what I mean?
Manny Pacquiao started working with PBC, was it part of the agreement that they help him with his promotional company too, or how did that work out?
Yeah. Because Magsayo and Ancajas even now is fighting under the PBC banner.
Yeah, because all his fighters are fighting on PBC. Basically.
Yeah, because Biebs, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you follow Jerwin Ancajas. When he was at Top Rank, they were like slowing his career. He was fighting nobodies like these. A lot of people were saying in the Philippines, you probably won't know this because they're talking Tagalog. That like the YouTubers and the like. What is he doing in Top Rank? He's fighting nobody. But now that he's out of Top Rank, he's fighting the fights that he wants to fight, and he lost to Martinez. But then at least he's now free, and they're getting more money. Whereas,
do you speak Tagalog?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But I can't speak it fluently, but I can understand it.
Can understand
But
it?
if I went to the Philippines, say for 6 months straight, I can pick it up.
Yeah.
Because I speak English, dude. Like,
Does Manny Pacquiao speak good Tagalog?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's not actually from Manila. He's from General Santos City, and they speak Bisaya, which is a dialect. But because at school, you know what, like apart from, because at school in Philippines, everything is in English, but there's a subject called Filipino, right? Where you have to speak Tagalog. So like, even though he didn't go to school, but when you, for people who who did go to school, and then when they go to Manila, it's easy to pick it up because you're taught Tagalog at school. And also, but everything is English. There's only math is English. There's English subjects, social studies English, PE is English. Even the teachers speak English. But when it comes to Filipino, the subject, you have to speak Filipino, not your or Tagalog, not your dialect. And then when you move to Manila to work, you can easily pick it up because
is Tagalog the more proper universal language in the Philippines?
No, the universal language is probably English. Because people from Manila, they can't understand Pacquiao's dialect, whereas Manny can understand Tagalog and his dialect. But if Manny started speaking English instead of his dialect, the people from Manila, that because they know how to speak, or everyone knows how to speak English, they can understand him. Like if you watch the news sometimes in Philippines, majority of it is in English. Even the newspapers, is in English.
Wow. So is Manny Pacquiao ever going to become president of the Philippines?
Nah, he doesn't. He doesn't have the. He doesn't have the political savvy because in Philippines, Beeps, how many people are watching this? I don't want to like.
Only a few.
Okay, in Philippines, to win an election, you gotta pay people because Beeps, in Philippines, there's a lot of poor people, like even below the poverty line, where like not even there's no food stamps and stuff like that, and like ghettos, they don't have that kind of stuff over there. So you gotta fend for yourself, and because there's a lot of poor people, the politicians pay people to get their votes, and Manny doesn't want to do that, and because he wants to do it the right way, and because of that, he can't get the votes. He might get the vice presidency maybe if he's lucky, but presidency, no way. You can tell. You can already tell he doesn't have the people behind him. because you got to pay him. Like, peeps, I don't know if you know this. When he tried to be a governor for General Santos City, not only that he lost once, he lost twice, right?
How did he become a senator, though?
No. So what happened was he knew that he couldn't be a governor in his home state or his home place, right? So he went to Jinky's hometown, which is Sarangani province, and he won that, even though he's not even from there. And he only won it in a very slight victory. It was not like, it was only like maybe a couple of thousand votes. And then because he became a governor, then you're eligible to become a senator. And not many people know that. Because he wants to do it, because Beeps, he doesn't want to pay people for his votes. He wants to do it the right way, which in Philippines, unfortunately, is the wrong way to do it. Like, I wouldn't do it that way either. Like, I'd rather have
the same way over here. Everyone, the people with the most money become, when.
Yeah, but Beeps, they don't actually pay people. Like what? So what happens was you have a middleman, and then you go to these towns and you just pay people and say, hey, vote for whoever, right? In America, they don't do that. Right?
You'd be surprised what they do over here. They have what's called PACs over here.
What's that?
And well, they're political organizations, right, that support certain candidates, right? And there's ways that they influence. They have a strong influence over the people, basically. So they pay people to find out, dig up dirt on their opponents and stuff like that. And politics everywhere is very, very questionable. It's a dirty business, bro. It's not just, I'm sure it's worse in certain areas. I heard Philippines, it is very corrupt over there. I don't want to say, I don't want to say that, but I think it's corrupt over there.
And maybe it's like their Super Bowl too. When it's election time, it's like the Super Bowl, because there's not a lot of because if you're a poor country, dude, there's not a lot of things for people to do. Like, it's not like in America where you can go to the opera and like watch NBA live. You know what? It's not like that. And you know what I mean? So when it comes to politics, they treat it seriously, like, and they have alliances, and even the guys who ride the motorbike. Because I remember my uncle was running for like a political office. And the person who drove the motorcycle, so he took us from the airport to the house. He said, "Oh, give us money, so that we'll vote for you. If not, we won't." And my uncle said, "Yeah, I will. I'll send someone over there, closer to the election, because he doesn't want to give it too early, because then the opposition will know the amount, so then they'll overbid it."
Now, how much money does it cost to win an election over there, in your opinion? About 10
for
million?
The presidency, a lot, man, a lot.
More than 10 million
American dollars?
Yeah.
Probably a bit less, Beebs. A bit less. That's a bit too much.
Too much?
Because
if I went over there with like $4 million, can I win an election?
Yeah, probably. Because Beebs, in Philippines, they love white people over there. They love Americans in general. Like, if you go, because you're quite tall, right? You're 6 feet, yeah?
6 feet, yeah.
Beebs, if you go to the mall in Philippines, there'll be a lot of females.
I'd be like Shaq, right? If I go to the Philippines, I'd be like.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go. But there'll be a lot of girls who'll be, or people in general, be looking at you because A, you're white, 2, you're tall. You know what I mean?
Good-looking guy. Good-looking guy.
So yeah,
you know what I noticed too about Filipino women? Tell me if I'm wrong. They love older guys.
Now that Beebs, no. That's because a lot of the Filipina women, they want to get out of the country, so they would do anything to get out of the country. So one way to do it is to work overseas, which a lot of Filipinos do. Like a lot of nurses, they work in the Middle East. The other one is to get married, right, to a white person or a black person, who from America. But yeah, one thing about Filipino women, they're very loyal, very loyal.
Yeah,
and they always stay in the house. They always do housework and stuff. But it's not for me, man, because I don't know. I like blondes for some reason.
You like
I
the
don't know why.
California girls, right? You like California girls.
No, more like Russian girls, like yeah,
You like
Scandinavian,
you like the
Scandinavian.
you like the you like the Europeans. Oh, you froze up a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
that's you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like the Swedish. Sorry.
You froze up a little bit, but you're back now. You're back.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
man.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're in New Zealand right now. You're not in the Philippines.
No, no, no. I haven't been to Philippines since maybe 2008. Because
Wow.
I'll go to Europe. Because actually, I wanted to ask you this question: when you were in Germany, did you like visit like Frankfurt and Munich and
Yes.
Berlin and
I
Dresden?
I went to Frankfurt. I went to Munster. I went to what the hell is that place? Hanau. You know Hanau? I was in Hanau. That's where the castles are. Um,
Okay.
I was in Berlin, but I didn't really spend that much time there. Like when they flew me in, I was in Berlin. I was in Frankfurt. Yeah.
Nice
Germany's t-
place, yeah, Beeps.
Germany's
It's clean.
tiny. It's very tiny. It's
Yeah, it's
about
clean there.
well, I was there in the 90s. I was there a
Oh, no.
long time
Oh,
ago.
what 90s? The late 90s or mid 90s?
Early 90s, like
Oh, that
94ish.
was at the start. Oh, okay, so you were in West Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was in
okay.
Munster. I was in Munster. There's another place I was called Kirschgoens. I was in Kirschgoens. Yeah. I was there actually. I'm sorry. I was there in 93. That's when I
Okay.
was there. So early
Hey,
90s
Shaq
there.
was around that in Germany at that time
Yeah,
because his
that's
father was a military guy.
yeah. Yeah.
I think he did say he was in Germany around that early 90s,
So
probably 91.
you remember all the things I say. You keep track of the Beeb's background. I like that.
No, because you mentioned it yesterday. You didn't mention yesterday that you said you
No, I
you
didn't.
lived
I mentioned it
in
before, but I don't think I talked about it yesterday. Did I talk about
Oh,
it? I may have talked about it yesterday. I don't know. I think I did. I think I
yeah, no,
did.
that's kind of cool, man. I like Germany. It's Germany is a misconception, man. Like,
Oh, it's very American. It's very Americanized.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
the women there are very forward. So here's the thing. You could be sitting at a bar in Germany. I don't drink, but I used to go to bars just to hang out. They
yeah,
will come up to you and ask you out, ask you for your phone number, ask you out. It's
yeah.
different
That's what I
over
like
there.
about Europeans.
European women are so different than
Or
from
or,
American women.
or there's another word for beeps. They're hot blooded. I don't know. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, they kind of like, yeah.
They like to be honest. Like they're not superficial. Like you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they're very forward too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
And
get right to the point.
I like that, man.
They'll tell
I
you,
like.
they'll tell you, do you want to come home?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't play
They don't
games.
they don't play around. They don't make you earn it. They if you you just if they want it, they offer it to you, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. It's straightforward. So at least means you know where you stand. Because
Yeah.
sometimes if they let you earn it and you make a mistake
Well,
once, they go away and it's like, what the hell? I just spent like
well,
friggin' a
well,
week with you. Like,
yeah. Well, the difference is because it's not a cap. It's not really. I mean, there is capitalism there, but it's primarily a socialist economy. So one way or the other, you're going to get taken care of, right? So there's no need to try to have a guy take care of you when you can get taken care of regardless.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But these the German women, they're a little strong for my liking though.
You think so?
I like feminine. I like
No, they're
Scandinavians.
not. They're not masculine. You think they're
No, no,
masculine?
no, no. They're not Bulgarian or anything where they're like wrestlers or anything. But I just think they're a little big because
You don't
I'm
like
not a big
Chris?
guy, man.
You don't like Christina Hammer?
No, I'm more of a Katie Taylor guy. I like Katie Taylor. I got a
She's
thing for her
small.
for
Yeah,
some
she's
reason. I don't
petite.
know why.
She's petite.
He said B's only weigh at 147 or 148, the most.
See, I think Shannon Courtney is prettier than Ebony Bridges.
Yeah, she's cute. You mean?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
cuter.
B's, there's an Australian girl. Her name's Sky something. Oh, Sky.
Oh, she
She's
took a
actually
picture. She took a picture with Canelo yesterday. I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah. She's on the undercard. She's Australian.
she's.
Sky
What's her
something.
name?
Sky Robinson or something like that. Or I don't know.
Yeah,
She's
she's
really
pretty,
pretty.
man. She's pretty,
Yeah,
man.
I actually followed her on Instagram, babe, straight away when I saw that picture with Canelo.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Sky Nicholson.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Sky Nicholson. Yeah. But I got a thing for Katie Taylor,
Yeah.
because she's good looking. She's very talented at boxing. And her whole country supports her. She's a gold medalist. She's an offensive fighter. She has support from the Irish public in New York or in Boston as well. What's not to like? And she's a prize fighter as well.
Sky Nicholson was in the Tokyo Olympics,
Did she win?
2021. Let me see.
Nah, I would have heard it from here if she won.
Let me see what happened. Oh, she missed a chance to fight for a medal, sobbing herself to sleep. She lost Wednesday. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. So she was crying. She wiped away the tears. She's 25 years old.
Okay.
She would have been the first Australian boxer to win a medal in boxing, I guess.
Australia's never won a medal in boxing?
Let me see what it said here. Oh, the first Australian woman to progress to an Olympic boxing medal. I'm sorry. Okay. Apologize for that. Yeah.
I'm sure Jeff Finnick may have won a medal back in 1980, maybe.
Yeah. Did Jeff Fennick ever win an Olympic gold medal?
Man, he got robbed again in Las Vegas against Azuma Nelson. Man, he won that convincingly. But in the rematch, the fight was in Australia and he had too many distractions. Man, he got annihilated by Azuma Nelson in the rematch.
He had 3 losses.
He had a good career. Featherweight, right? He was a featherweight champion.
Junior featherweight, actually. Let me see. But he did move up to featherweight. That's correct.
Yeah. To fight Azuma Nelson. Should have won that fight in Las Vegas.
Wow. It's in his fight in Australia, he won a majority decision against Azuma Nelson in 2008.
No, that would have been the trilogy. No, the rematch was in the early 90s.
Oh, you're talking about the one in 92 that he lost by 8th round stoppage.
Yeah, the one that really mattered.
That was in Melbourne too.
Yeah.
When they fought in 2000, I didn't even know Azuma. I don't remember this fight for some reason. They fought at junior middleweight, bro.
Junior
Isn't that
middleweight?
crazy? Yeah.
54 pounds?
No.
You mean junior featherweight?
No, junior middleweight. In 2008, he weighed 151 pounds. Azuma Nelson.
Oh, no, that's when he was old, man. No. That's 2008. He's like, he was 50 years old back then, man.
How old was he back then?
Or 40 or something like that.
He's 57 now.
Minus 10. Or
No.
thereabouts.
So that was 14 years ago. So 57. He was 43 years old when he fought.
Yeah, that was a
Azuma
cash
Nelson.
grab, man. I don't think they even did well on the box office. But that Azuma Nelson rematch was a big thing here in Australasia.
Do you remember that fight in 2008?
No.
I didn't even know that. That must have flew under the radar.
That's the trilogy. No, I remember the rematch, but I remember the first fight more because that was a robbery. That was like Catterall versus what's his name, Josh Taylor.
That was a close fight. Come on.
We were arguing about this yesterday.
Let's see what the average scorecard for so the average fan scorecard was 116 to 112 for Fennick.
Yeah, the first fight.
Yeah, everyone thought Fennick won that first fight.
Yeah.
I actually do remember the second fight. It was on Showtime.
He got annihilated, man.
Let me see
You
that.
know what the rumor was? He was sleeping with a lot of women before the fight, and he had no legs left in fight night. That was the rumor. Too many distractions.
Wow, he lost to Calvin Grove too. Wow. Philip Holiday.
Yeah, I remember Philip Holiday.
He was the lightweight champion from Australia. Remember him?
Australia had a really good run there in the 90s with Kostya Tszyu, and the guy that I can't remember, Jeff Harding as well. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember Jeff Harding, light heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy that Shane Mosley beat, I can't remember his name anymore. He was a good Olympian as well, actually.
Well, Shane Mosley beat Philip Holiday for his first title, I thought.
No, not him. Another person. They fought in America. I can't remember his name. But now there's hardly any Australian, apart from Tim Tszyu and Ebony Bridges.
Who would you say is the best Australian boxer of all time? I would say Kostya Tszyu.
Yeah, Kostya Tszyu. Or what's his name? Lionel Rose.
No, come on.
No, you don't like Lionel Rose? Man.
I'm not saying I don't like him, but I think Jeff Fennick is not Jeff Fennick. I mean, Kostya Tszyu.
He's not really Australian, Beebs. He migrated to Australia. There was a World Championships in Australia, and he defected.
What's he, Russian or something?
Yeah, he's Russian. Yeah.
Let's see what he's listed as here. He was a great fighter, Kostya Tszyu.
Yeah, he derailed Zab Judah's rise to the top. Remember? And Zab Judah was supposed to be better than Mayweather.
He was called the Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah. Trained by Johnny
he was born in Russia.
Yeah.
When did he move to Australia?
I think early to mid 90s.
But all his fights were in Australia.
Early on, but then he went to America and conquered.
Went to America for 2 fights. And then he had a lot. He had a lot of fights in America. Let's see how many.
With Showtime. It was on Showtime, remember?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, and then he fought Ricky Hatton in the UK, the Manchester Arena.
Yeah. But he was washed up by then, man.
He was old.
He would have killed Ricky Hatton.
Who did he? So he won the. After he lost to Vince Phillips.
He was a good fighter, Vince Phillips.
Yeah. He won the WBC interim super lightweight title. Then he won the vacant WBC title against Miguel Angel Gonzalez. That's a good victory. Then he beat Chavez too. He defended his WBC title. And then he unified against Zab Judah. This was back when the WBO was not recognized, right?
When we knew.
Yeah. So this was for the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF title.
That was a sick knockout too, man. Remember that when Zab Judah even blamed the ref, like he put his fist. Remember that? He put it to his face, to the ref's face.
Yeah. Oh, so he ended up getting stripped by the WBC and the WBA, and then he just had the IBF. He got stripped after the Jesse James layout fight. Why? I mean, why did that happen? Why did that happen?
They were a lot stricter back then, Beast. Maybe he didn't fight as mandatory.
They fucking took 2 of his titles away from him. That's crazy. Wow, Jesse James layout had a perforated eardrum. Yeah, so this girl is what's her name again?
Sky Nicholson.
Sky Nicholson. So is she going to be what do you think? Is she going to be someone to look out for? What do you think?
Oh yeah, of course, but because I don't know anything about her. Is she undefeated, or I just saw
she's making her pro debut on that Canelo undercard, bro.
Damn, man. She's gonna find it hard to get a boyfriend because she's a fighter. Like I don't know if you want to go out with someone who's as manly as you are. What do you think, Beeps? Would you go
you sound like Eric now. You're being very misogynistic. Gotta stop, man.
But by the way, Beeps, you and Eric have a good chemistry together.
Oh, we have an awesome chemistry. Yeah. I love that.
And I like it when that guy always calls in. I don't know his name. That you guys have a good chemistry with him too. What's his name again?
Robbie.
Is it Robbie? Yeah, he always calls in. He always the first one to call in.
We always make fun of him and he starts crying.
Nah. I think he's probably thinks it's a joke as well. But yeah, you three have an interesting relationship there.
I'm gonna follow Sky Nicholson on LinkedIn and see if she'll follow me back. I'm gonna try
What
and connect.
man? Like that's her like relationship. What do you wanna like follow her on social media, dude?
Well, LinkedIn is social media too. Yeah,
That's like if like for work purposes and stuff. Like
I want to try and get her on the show.
yeah. Yeah, interview her. Look,
See,
dude, don't the round table? Don't you guys interview people sometimes?
not on the round table. That's just that we talk. That's basically where we talk and stuff.
I thought you've done a few times already. I remember even boxing dev
No,
said.
the HB that's the HPC. That's a different.
Oh, okay.
That's a different thing. So she has a 36-15 record. Wow, she's very pretty.
You mean amateur, right? Because you mean amateur record.
Correct. That's
Yeah.
her amateur. That's her amateur record. She doesn't have any. She doesn't have a pro record yet. Let me see if she hasn't turned pro yet. She's going to turn pro on March 5th against Jessica Juarez. Let me see. That's the
Suarez. Hey, Beebs, you know who's
okay.
good looking too, Beebs?
Oh, I'm sorry. She's turning pro. She's turning pro on the Roman Gonzalez, Julio Cesar Martinez. Yeah, she's turning pro this Saturday is her debut.
So what about the Canelo undercard? Is that a second fight? You mean?
No, I'm not sure if she's going to be on that undercard.
Oh, okay.
But she was at that press. I misspoke. She was at that press conference.
Yeah,
So
she was. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's making her pro debut this weekend.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
I apologize.
Beebs, by the way, that's a good fight. By the way, that Roman Chocolatito and
Who do you like there?
I want Chocolatito to win because Donaire then would go down from 118 to 115 to fight him, to have a super fight at 115. Because Rachel Donaire already said it. He said it on Punch Boxing. She said that Nonito is willing to go down to 115 to fight Chocolatito if they can't make the Inoue fight.
Rachel Donaire was on Punch Drunk Boxing.
Yeah. Because they were talking about the contracts. Like Rachel was.
He had her on.
Yeah, and Nonito too.
Oh, together. I have Nonito Donaire's phone number too.
You should get her on, man.
I interviewed Nonito Donaire when I was on Rope a Dope Radio a couple times. Okay.
You probably get Rachel. Not Nonito, because Rachel's
the PR person. Yeah, I talked to.
No. She's the dominator of that relationship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to
she controls his career, man. There's no question about it.
Oh, his personal life too. So you have to go through her to get an interview, not Nonito.
But she's a nice person, though.
Yeah. But to be honest, she's a little too domineering for me. I'd go crazy if.
I couldn't go out with her. We have someone like her that I don't want to say it right now because I don't want to get in trouble at my work. But
well, work. Well, are you like hanky panky? You're not allowed to do that.
No, at work we have someone that's like that, like very controlling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oversteps and gets involved in things that they're not supposed to.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? They're there for one thing, but try to get involved in everything else. You know what I mean?
But because I couldn't go out with someone who's like a domineering, like a woman. Oh man, like because I know some of my friends who have that, and they control that. They can't even say anything sometimes, and it's like, oh, dude, get out of this relationship, mate.
Yeah. So, what do you think about Tim Tszyu? Do you think he can beat people like Jamal Charlo? You think he could be a world champion? You think he's at that level?
Nah, man, I don't, dude. I don't. He probably needs maybe one more year or maybe a couple of years, man. He hasn't been tested.
Yeah.
And it's hard. How many sons have succeeded whose their father was a star, not a superstar like a Floyd Mayweather Jr., just even like a star, like Kostya Tszyu. There's not many, man. I don't think there is any. Maybe Corey Spinks, maybe. He was the lineal champ at welterweight, and he didn't. Apart from that,
who's this? Who's this Nikita Zoo? You know Nikita Zoo?
Who's Nikita? Is that her sister?
No, it's another. I think it could be a brother or something.
Nikita. No, Nikita's a female name, isn't it?
No,
No,
it's
I
a.
don't know. Man, I was thinking maybe like it was one of those Figueroa sisters. Remember that? Remember that?
Are you surprised that Tim Zoo beat up Jeff Horn like that too? Former world
Yeah, but
champion.
Jeff Horn was washed up. He got washed up also by Manny, really, because he got beaten up in that fight. And then Bud Crawford.
Hey, I had that fight a draw.
Biebs, I was in Malaysia at that time, and when I watched it with volume, I had Pacquiao winning. But when I turned off the volume, when I came back to New Zealand, I had a draw too.
It's a draw.
Yeah, I had a draw without volume on.
Teddy Atlas aggravates the fucking shit out of me because he scores fights, right? He'll have like two or three even rounds. He scores a lot of rounds even. And then at the end, he calls fights robberies. Teddy, you had fucking these rounds even. You don't think someone could have given them to the other guy? You had them even.
Biebs, when boxing was on ESPN, he predicted De La Hoya to smash the shit out of Pacquiao. He had Ricky Hatton annihilating Pacquiao, and he said that Miguel Cotto would end Pacquiao's career. Right?
Yeah.
I think it took like the Timothy Bradley fight to finally get Pacquiao's to finally pick Pacquiao, and Pacquiao lost in the first fight. So, and he's always had it with Pacquiao. He keeps bringing up the drug testing thing, even though Pacquiao has never tested positive for drugs at all, like not even close. You know what I mean? Like at least Canelo, he got tested negative for something. Pacquiao got never tested, and Pacquiao's probably the most tested fighter in our generation.
Well, here's the thing. Canelo took the hair tests. And that goes back. That kind of vindicated him.
Yeah, but Biebs, the first time he got tested negative, so that's a fact as well. Like he got tested for something, right? Whereas Pacquiao never got tested for anything, not even a little tiny bit.
Yeah. I gotta try to get Sky Nicholson on the show, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. But Biebs, get what's it called? Not just you get Maestro, maybe a female one too, just for a few what Boxing Nation. I think you guys use her a bit. Or is that D-Style's friend?
Who is it?
Boxing Nation. What's her name? Nancy.
Oh, Nascent. Yeah, you like Nancy's good.
Yeah, because she'll probably feel more comfortable if there was a female on the panel.
Think so?
Because she's young, man. Like
she's a matchroom fighter. So
Coogan.
She signed with Matchroom.
Hey, Biebs, Coogan will be all over her, man. You know how Coogan is. Like
Coogan,
he's always chummy with Ebony Bridges and Chantel Courtney.
I actually like Coogan.
Yeah, I do too.
Coogan's good.
Yeah, I like how he instigates debates. Like I remember he was asking Ebony Bridges, Chantel Courtney. Like he said to Chantel Courtney, "Hey Ebony, how do you feel that Eddie is backing you in this fight against Ebony Bridges?" And Chantel Courtney said, like she got really angry. She said, "Of course he has to back me. He's my promoter. Ebony Bridges is not even Eddie Hearn's promoter." So, but he was just joking around. Like I like that style where, he pokes at the fighter's sensitive.
Yeah. No, I like that too. Well, little Penny, I'm gonna bounce out of here. But as always, nice talking to you, man. We'll catch up later. Make sure you check us out tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time for the round table.
Yeah. Hey,
HCP round table.
Hey, dude, invite John next when you come on, like yourself.
Trying to get John on, man, but he kind of dipped out of this one.
Yeah, I think he knew, dude. I think he knew.
He knows what's going on. All right, brother. Have a good day, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, man.